Hello, and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. Once again, I'm not too well centered. And today is June the 12th, I think. Yes, today is June the 12th, 2025. And I want to welcome everybody here. If you are a new subscriber, I am, of course, all about crochet, but I also talk a fair bit about yarn. The yarn I mostly talk about is hand-dyed yarn or luxury yarns, and we will be talking about some yarn today. And I like to talk about other things happening in the yarn community, things that affect yarn and crochet. Although I do have knitters that follow me as well, because I do a monthly mal and a couple of other mals throughout the year where I accept anything. It doesn't have to be crochet. And very warm welcome to you if you are new, and I hope you will come back again and hit that subscribe button. And I like to also say a big warm welcome to my returning subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you, and you have made this a very wonderful experience. And there's such great people in the Yarny community. So I am kind of surprised that none of you pointed out my mistake last week. I made a very big mistake, being that it was the first week of the month. And we always have a visit from Kiki the first week of the month, and we didn't have one last week. And so here she is in her June outfit, and once again, we have a skirt, and I looked at them all again this time, and this is a second one that does not, it's not as big, and it doesn't have the big ruffly on it. And I'm thinking that maybe I should do the same as I did for May and get some latte cake out. I have it sitting over there, and put a nice little white border on it. This, by the way, you can't, yeah, maybe you can see there is sparkle in it. I always use minis, and this is a blend of two minis that had sparkles. So what do you think? Should I put a nice little frilly border on this outfit as well, or is it fine just the way it is? So I will put her up there where she belongs after the fact here. I won't try to do it while we're talking today. The the next thing I usually mention is what am I wearing? And today I thought I'd do something a little different. I am wearing a poncho. I thought that it matched my brown top quite well. And it also reminded me to say something to you about the fact that I've decided probably next week, since we have a shorter collection of yarn next week, that I am going to get out. I may have a couple of ponchos and some of my cotton shawls that I have made and are for sale. If you remember, earlier in the spring, I got out a number of my one skein kind of scarf shawlettes. I call them fashion scarves, and I offered them to you to see if anybody wanted to purchase any of them. And I thought I would do the same with my lightweight ponchos and the cotton shawls. Next week, I think there will be time to do that. So here is a little sneak peek of something that will be offered next week. This is no particular pattern. It's just a plain double crochet, and every so often I put windows in it just to give it a little bit of interest. And this one is made with a Shapey's Woolly Whirl gradient cake. So that means that it has merino in it, and it feels nice, but it is very, very lightweight, because this would be probably a fingering weight yarn. So that's what's coming partially next week. The other thing is I got some happy mail, and I always am surprised when one of you sends me a card. And every now and then, somebody that wins a prize, there is a prize every month in the mail, as well as I just randomly give some yarn away, probably once a month. Well, this card came from Rosanna, who has a channel called Crochet with Nona Rosanna. She is into diamond painting, and she sent me this lovely thank you card for, I think she won one of my gradient cakes. And isn't that beautiful? It means so much that not only she took the time to send me a card, but she sent me something that she actually made herself. And I would like to prop it up there with everything else, but I don't see space. Not with all these little critters, unless I just were to set it in one of my, there. I'll set it in one of my little cubbies, and hopefully it doesn't fall. But thank you very much, Rosanna. I do appreciate the effort and the sentiment. The next thing I want to mention is, as I did bring up the monthly mal, and for those that are new, every month I show a butterfly as inspiration, and we take the color in the butterfly and you make something, anything that you want, using only those colors, and you send it to me by the end of the month, and I do a slideshow. Well, first of all, this month has been very quiet. Now I know it's only the 12th, but usually by now I have a half a dozen or more pictures that have been sent to me, and so far this month I only have 2. So I know people are working on things, and some things take longer than others. I would have thought that blue would have been a fairly easy color to find in your stash to make something. So I'm hoping there are several of you out there still planning to make something, and we have until the 27th of June to get your pictures to me. And of course, with the picture, I need your name, your location, the pattern if you used one, the pattern and the designer if you used one, because people always ask, what pattern is it? So like I said, it's been slow this month. The other thing I mentioned, and maybe it went right over your head, I don't know, I mentioned it when I did the monthly slideshow, that I am once again collecting pictures of just anything you want to show. If you remember, at the beginning of the year, I did a slideshow. I asked you to send me pictures of just anything that you would really like to show people. Is it something that was special? Is it something that had a special meaning behind it? Was it a new learn and you're proud of it? Did it mean something special? Is it a bigger project than you're used to? Just anything that you basically would like to share or show off. And you can send one item, and a lot of you, I know that some of you wanted to send more than one when I did it, and I said, no, just one, because I'm going to do it again, and you'll have another opportunity to show another item if you have more than one thing you want to show. So I remember somebody sending me 2 pictures. I just remind you, the one you didn't show last time, you will want to send to me now. And Christine, I'm thinking you finished your Afghan of all the squares you made last year and you've put it together, I believe that might be something you'd want to show us. There were 2 or 3 other people that also did squares every month for last year's Mal. And if you have those put together now, this would be the perfect time to send it and remind us they are from last year's Mal and that they're together. And I would love to show those. Judy T, who is in Ontario, she did some beautiful, beautiful sort of like medallion or mandala circles into squares every month, quite large ones. I think there were 17 inches square. And I don't know if you might have put those together, Judy. We would love to see that Afghan. And I know there were a couple of other people that were doing monthly squares. So I just want to remind everybody, you have until the 30th of June to send me your pictures, anything, something that you're, something you're quite proud of or something you want to share. That is maybe special to you. It doesn't have to have a special story behind it, but if it does, please share it with me and I will share it. But if it's just something you're particularly proud of that you would like to share with people, it just might be the colors of it that are, kind of eye-catching that you want to share. I would be happy to have those pictures. And then sometime during July, I will show those pictures. As you know, I'm going to be doing Christmas in July, and I'm not going to be doing any special shows like this month and last month. I've been doing indie dyers across Canada. Sometimes I do focus on a designer, and I'm having trouble finding one right now, but I will do one eventually. Sometimes I do other focuses on things, but I'm going to take it a little bit easier in July. We will be opening some advent calendars. That does take time. And I've decided to take a page out of Diane's book, and I'm going to do one of those Christmas puzzles. I used to do, Rose and I together did puzzles all the time. 1,000-piece puzzles. We've done some 2,000-piece puzzles. And since she had her stroke, I've not done a puzzle. So I decided I would get one of those Christmas ones that they give it to you in boxes like an advent calendar. And that would be a little easier. And I put one of those together and show you some progress throughout July. So that's coming during July as well. And maybe there'll be some other special things. I'll definitely one week do the slideshow of the items you send me as your special things. And just quickly, sneak peek, you'll see this later in the month. I did finish my item for the monthly Mal. You can see it's the right color. And I'll show you closer and talk more about the yarn and the pattern later in the month. And what am I working on? I didn't bring it to show you. There's nothing to show really. I did start the riptide. I finished the I-cord and the first row of the main color. And I'm going to have time, I think, tonight to get into my very first color of the wedges. So I read through the comments that you were making in Ravelry kind of scared me a little bit. Then I thought, oh, this is tough. But I went back and I looked thoroughly at the pattern and I looked at her videos. And yes, it's a little bit different. And as people pointed out, it is a bit of a challenge, but I don't think I'm really going to have trouble. It's just a matter of focusing and not doing something else at the same time and using stitch markers to mark where you do these special stitches. Mark that carefully and just focus on what I'm doing, and I think it'll be fine. So I'm hoping in the next week to 10 days, if I, concentrate on it, that I should make some good progress. I've also been we've had a couple of nice days, and I've been able to get out in the gardens for a little bit here, a little bit there, and get a few things accomplished. It's going to be the rest of the month getting it all done, because there's been so little dry days to get out and work, and so much rain. The weeds have just overtaken every garden. So there's hours and hours of weeding ahead of me yet. So, but when I get finished, I will give you a quick tour of the gardens again this summer. So that's what I've been working on. And of course, I'm working on the blanket. I think I showed you the beginning of the blanket that I work on Mondays. And hopefully I'll have it done before the end of the month. So those are the things I'm working on. So today, as I told you, we are going to be visiting Indie Dyers in Quebec. So I still have my trusty Canadian map here. And we have done all across from the west. We did Ontario last week. And this week, we're doing Quebec. And Quebec, as you can see, is a very, very large province. And main city there's Quebec City. And down here is Montreal. It's not actually marked. It's right there along the St. Lawrence Seaway, right in about here. I'll show you another map. Most of the Indie dyers that I looked at this month didn't have information about where they were located. One or two of them were in Montreal, which you'll see on this map. I think I'll put the map up while I'm talking. I'll fill the screen. Here's the map of Quebec, and hopefully you can see Montreal way down there at the bottom. A couple are located in Montreal. If you look up to where Quebec is, and across to the west of Quebec, you'll see Trois-Rivières just a bit south of it, while sort of west of Quebec and north of Trois-Rivières is a town called St. Catharines de la Jacques-Cartier, I believe. That's one of the places I'll mention. And if you go over close to the border between Quebec and Ontario, you will see, I think Ottawa might be in that map, but you'll see Gatineau. Gatineau is across the border from Ottawa. And just in that area around Gatineau is a place called Wakefield. Those are the two cities I will refer to when I'm talking about where some of them are located. And the rest, I don't know. But it hardly matters to most of you where they're located. I mean, if you're shopping online, they're going to mail it to you. But just to give you a feel for the province, it's a very large province, but a lot of it happens along the St. Lawrence from Quebec to Montreal and up a little bit towards Ottawa. That area down in there is, I think, where it's more densely populated as well. So let's get started. And I do these in alphabetical order. So the very first one I'm going to talk about is Artfill. And Artfill believes in using sustainable, environmentally, and socially responsible practices. Oh, and by the way, their website is artfill.ca. And again, I will put all of these names and all of the websites in the description box below, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, they believe in their being environmentally sustainable. They say they use 80% less water and 60% less energy in the dyeing of their yarn. So I I'm trying to think, did they, yeah, I think they do more. Yes, I think they raise some animals. But this is Yana and her husband. They launched this business in 2015, and then they added Patricia and Priscilla in 2020 to help them. They have a showroom in Montreal, and they sell both wholesale and retail. And besides the showroom in Montreal, apparently they have multiple dyeing locations. So they probably hire out some people to help in their dyeing process. And they have merino and hemp, alpaca, merino, silk is a major blend for them. The lowest price base was called Bell at $29.95. And they have fingering and sparkle, superwash. They have DK. They have Rambouillet, sport, and worsted. And we will talk about the properties of Rambouillet maybe by the end of the month. And they have a flat rate of shipping at $8. That's a very, very good shipping rate. And if you order 6 skeins or more, you get free shipping. So I have a table full here of yarn. I wanted to show you a couple of skeins of yarn that I got from Artfill. And I got these when I was at the Knit City Fiber Festival a year ago in the spring. And I couldn't resist getting these. And those of you that have been here a while, you know that that's my thing. Now, this is the glitter base. I think it runs just a bit more than 30, 32 maybe. Anyway, it is 75% merino Rambouillet and 25% stellina. This is a sport weight. Okay, I guess so. And there are 310 yards in one skein. This one is called Sangria, and this one is called Midnight Kiss. And I intend to make something with these two together. A shawl or one of my neck things, an asymmetrical triangle. They feel really quite nice for having sparkle in them and no nylon or anything else. And I will be talking to you about the properties of Rambouillet. Hopefully very, very soon. We haven't been talking about the properties of yarn for a little while, and I want to get back to that. So that's coming very soon. And my little furry friend is here in the chair next to me. We'll see if he crawls over in my lap. Oh, here he comes. Hello. Come on over. Come on over and say hello. Hello, everybody, he says. Hello. 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 Yeah. He's getting very thin. Yeah, he sleeps a lot. Okay. The next dyer, and I don't know if I mentioned I have 8 of them in Quebec. The next one is called The Color of My Fiber. Now, you may recall me talking about her a fair bit in the past. She is on Etsy, no website. I will link her. And at one time last year, it started at Christmas of 23, excuse me, and went into the next year for, I don't know, maybe 5 months of the year. I was getting her mystery skein every month. And you had to order it monthly because she is on Etsy. And that was in place of doing a monthly subscription, but she did that instead. And you'll remember that I really, really enjoyed her yarn. She had such a wide variety of bases. She did a beautiful job of dyeing some great colors and was very open to doing this mystery thing. It was her idea to do the mystery monthly thing when I asked about a monthly subscription. She has a variety of bases. She has lace weight, fingering weight, DK, and worsted. You're going to see some of the different bases she uses, like she may have just merino nylon, she may have cashmere, she may have silk, she has tweed. I think I have a bamboo one here. I remember when we did order the monthly one, she had something like 6 different bases to choose from when making your order. And her shipping was very reasonable. When you order 1 skein of yarn, she only charges $4 shipping. She does ship it shrink wrapped so that she can mail it in a, just a regular mailing envelope. I'm going to interject here right now. I did a little film of the yarn that I have from her. I not only got her monthly thing, she had a sale. When she decided to stop doing the monthly thing, she contacted me and said she had gotten a job and didn't have the time to do it. And then she had a big sale on her site, and I thought she was going out of business, but no, she hasn't gone out of business. She still has close to 400, I think 300 and some different listings of different yarns. And she's had a sale twice since then. And when she has a sale, I try to get something because I just really like some of the bases she has. My favorite is her merino cashmere silk, and she does a merino cashmere stellina, and I really enjoy them. So I have a fair bit of her yarn, and I'm going to just interrupt here with a little video clip to show you the yarn that I have of hers. So hang on. Here are the 2 bins I have from the color of my fiber. I have one open down here. As you can see, a fair bit in there. And if you go up, I have the lid off the top one, and you get an idea of some of the yarn that I have in there. So as you can see, I have a fair bit from that company. I really like her yarn. So you can see I have quite a bit of her yarn, and I had been buying from her before she ever started that mystery box or mystery hank every month. I had quite a few of hers from before that. So I haven't ordered too much lately. I did get one recently, but I have enough to keep me busy for a while. But I wanted to show you a few of hers just to give you a cross section. So here's one. I think this is the one that I just ordered recently. I like the speckles. How about you go over there? Okay, get down there. Whoa, that's a good boy. Okay, so here's the latest one I think I got with the speckles. That's really pretty. This is just a plain merino nylon 80/20 fingering weight, 400 meters, but it does feel very, very nice, and I'm quite happy with that one. Then I have, sorry for knocking the camera, I have this one. Love the colors. I should show you her color of my fiber, and I will have her linked below. And this one is 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% silk. And it has 440 meters, so that would be like 480 yards. And you can feel the difference, the silkiness in it. and it is absolutely gorgeous. Love the colors. I wouldn't mind having 2 of those to make something larger. And the next one I have to show you is tweed. She does some nice tweeds. That's what I got from her at the beginning. So it's 80% wool and 20% viscose, fingering confetti tweed, she calls it, with 390 meters. So see the tweed in there? And it's confetti tweed because it has all these different colors. That's the viscose, those neps, some of them call them. And it still feels nice. Not as soft as your basic merino nylon. Definitely not as soft as the one with cashmere in it. And the last one I want to show you from her is this one. And this has bamboo. I believe it's 80% merino, 20% bamboo, but it might be the other way around. This color is called raspberry. Feels very nice. I don't think we've talked about the properties of bamboo either, so we may have to be talking about that soon. Color is raspberry, and it has 390 meters. And I have 2 of these. So, you know, I almost wish I had a sweater's quantity. This would feel wonderful as a sweater. It is a little bit fine, but that's okay. Yeah, if I had even one more, I could make like a summer tank top or tee. Anyway, that's another one from her, and this feels really, really nice as well. So that's the color of my fiber. Next, I want to talk to you about Les Garçons. Les Garçons is located in Montreal. They actually do have a storefront, and I think is it wool or is it cat? They carry other brands as well. Brands such as Brooklyn Tweed, that's a well-known brand. La Bien-Amie, I did have a skein or 2 of La Bien-Amie. You can't buy from them. You have to buy from distributors, other stores. They carry Spin Cycle, and they carry a number of others that I didn't write them all down. But they do dye some of their own yarn. Their website is boutiquelesgarçons.com. And I had heard about them for a while, but I never got anything from them until I saw them at Knit City in Toronto again a year ago. And they dye lace weight, fingering weight, sport weight, DK, Aran, something called fluff, which I have to show you. Some of their bases have BFL and British 4-ply and marled. Some of their bases are marled. And it's 2 men that own the business, and one does dyeing and the other does designing, mostly of men's knitwear. They're both knitters. You know, we need to get more crocheters running these stores. They also, I believe, sell notions. Their shipping is quite reasonable. It starts at $12. And I did have some other yarn of theirs. One of them was a sock set. They're very big. They have a, I think it's seasonal sock box. I don't think it's monthly. I think it's seasonal sock box. And it has a sock set and some other things in it. And you know, I'm not into making socks. And the sock sets have a self-striping skein plus a mini that goes with it. And that is a big item of theirs that they do regularly. I had one of their sock sets, and I have since gifted it to somebody. I don't think I had anything else, but I did make a second order to get more of their fluff. What can I tell you about their fluff? The fluff is a sport weight. It has 200 meters in it. And I love their label. It says that it is 55% baby alpaca. And baby alpaca comes from the regular mature alpacas, but it is a different part of the alpaca that is a much softer, I guess, finer wool fleece than the other part of the animal. So 55% baby alpaca, 18% fine merino wool, 17% mulberry silk, 10% yak, and 100% dreamy. And that's what they have on every one of their labels. So you can imagine it is fluffy. And if I can get one strand free here, actually looks to me very close to a DK weight. They call it a sport weight. I believe, without pulling a whole lot free, that it is not a consistent thickness. I think because of the fluffy, it changes. And so I got first this color, velvet, and then this color, which is cold rain, and then this color, which is amethyst. I could see those three going together. My fourth one won't go with it. It's red. They call it cinema. And I bought 2 at Knit City, and then I went back and ordered 2 more. But I'm thinking I might put those 3 together, and I might need to get something else to go with this. I would like, whoops, it's coming apart. I would like a black with it, or the gray. I bought the red and gray together. But maybe I'll just put this in something else. Dropping it all over the place. I might combine this with another yarn altogether and put this in as a highlight with something. And maybe I have a yarn that's a red, white, and black kind of variegated thing, and put some of this in with it. But they're right, it does feel very, very dreamy. And I got to get my thinking cap on and start making some of these things. Alrighty, let's move on to the next. Malane Maison. Malane Maison is my house of wool. Lane is wool, Maison is house. And they are the ones that are located in St. Catherine de la Jacques-Cartier, which is a little west of Quebec and a little north of Trois-Rivières. Now, the kinds of base, by the way, malainemaison.com is their website. They carry 100% alpaca, alpaca nylon in a 75-25 blend, a 70-30 blend of super baby alpaca and silk, 100% baby llama. I gotta order some llama. I really want to know how llama feels compared to alpaca or merino. They have a 75-25 merino nylon blend, a 72-28 Surrey alpaca and silk, and a 72-28 kid mohair and silk, and an 80-20 merino bamboo. And this is a company that is a mother-daughter business, and they started it in 2012. And they own their own alpacas, and then, of course, do all the steps needed to come up with their yarn. And the base rate starts, the lowest price I could find was $32. And I couldn't find, I didn't do the shipping, unfortunately. But I got these two from them. Oh, it's coming apart. I hate when they come apart. And I got these as a matching set. I looked at their 100% alpaca, and I decided that these felt almost as dreamy, so why not get them? Okay, I'm not going to get that back together. So anyway, this is 75% alpaca, 25% nylon. And that feels pretty heavenly. I don't know how you could make it any better. And it says something there, part of it's French. And does it say, oh, there are 400 meters, and the color of this is jeans, and this is very, very soft. And then I got one to go with it, and it is the same, 25.75, and it's called, it's all French, Averse. I don't know, but they're both fingering weight, 400 meters. Again, very soft. And I think my intent is to put these two together in something. But this one is falling apart, and I just hate when they're falling apart, because I can never get them back together nice and tight, and I shouldn't wait. I'm not going to waste your time doing that. I'll try to do it afterwards. All right, so my notes are back here. Okay, so that was Malin Maison, and you're going to be seeing an order from them probably this summer, because I definitely want to get some alpaca. I was looking at their site, and I want to get alpaca and just see, not alpaca, sorry. I want to get some llama, because I really want to see how different llama might be. Hang on just a minute here. Okay. Next we have Nerds with Needles, and they are at nerdswithneedles.ca. It's a company that is run by Teresa and Alexis. Both consider themselves to be nerds, and they happen to join up together. They both were knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, dyeing. It got into dyeing because they couldn't find the colors they wanted. So, of course, that sparked a need for lots and lots of colors. And they have, I don't have everything they carry, but the things that are different about them is they carry things in cakes and cupcakes. And by cupcakes, it means they will spin them, wind them into cakes, or cupcakes, meaning they will wind them into two separate cakes the same size. So if you're wanting to make socks, for example, they have pre-split the yarn into two equal amounts, and you get two cupcakes instead of a cake. Their prices start at $32 a skein, and the shipping seems to start at $19.65, I think. I was writing very sloppy when I did that. And I've had yarn from them for a little while. And so I'm going to show you some of what I have. I have two skeins the same. nerdswithneedles.ca, and I think Elven Magic might be the base name. Not sure. It might be the color name. I think maybe it's the color name, but I have these two that are the same, and they are 80/20. merino nylon, and there are 357 yards in each. So that gives me over 700 yards, which will make a decent shawl. And that's in a variegated color. It feels nice. It's just about average or a touch bit over average. Then I have this one. It's called Spunky Punky. And again, it's 80/20 with 357 yards. It says machine washable, tumble dry low. Not that I ever would, but some people might. And there is, isn't that pretty? You can see how that caught my eye. And finally, I have one more from them. And it's called Rainbow Love. It's a sparkle. And again, this is 84% extra fine superwash merino and 16% stellina with 370 yards. So I'll have to do one of the one skein wonders from CJ Brady and make sure it's a little bit smaller one. But I love all of the rainbow look of that yarn. Or you know what, I could also put this together with, say, a solid into a shawl and alternate. A black particularly might look good with this. Or what's this color? No, I don't think that would do it, but a black might look good with it. Okay, so that is Nerds with Needles. Now, moving on. The next dyer we're going to talk about is Riverside Studios. It's actually called Kat's Riverside Studio, and her web address is catsriversidestudio.com, and she's located in Wakefield, Quebec, and so on the map that was over near Gatineau in that area. Prices start at $30, and she has things like MCN lace and fingering, 3-ply merino sock. She has super sock. She has singles, merino DK, singles worsted. That's the name of her base. Aran weight. She has sock sets. A few things were sold out on the site. She has some sets of 4 and 5 skeins. She has a large range of colors, and I think she was the one that you have a color and drop down and pick the base you wanted. Or was it pick the base and then she had all these colors to choose? I forget how that went. But quite a bit of choice. And what else? Oh, and shipping starts at $14.28. So that is pretty reasonable for shipping. I don't know how many you get for that, if that's just one, or you might get 2 or 3. And I have a number of hers. I have bought from her, I think, maybe twice. So maybe I got it all at once, and this is starting to come apart. So are these two the same? No, they're not. So here is one of the ones I got from her. And this is, oh, she was on Etsy. catsriversidestudio.etsy.com. But I think she has her own site, and that's always the better place to purchase. And she's in Wakefield, Quebec. And you know something? This doesn't say anything about what's in it. I'm pretty sure it's fingering weight, and it's probably a merino nylon blend, as that is the standard that I buy. It doesn't say what's in it. It doesn't say a color name either. And then there's this one, Same idea, but a little more muted to the darker tones. And again, well, it probably said what it was made of and how long, how much was in it and everything on the write-up. So those are two that I have from her. And I still have two more, totally different. And this one is in shades of green and teal or aqua and browns. There's speckling in there. Interesting. This might be a good one to put together with a brown. That's not exactly brown. Anyhow, there's that one, and I have one more here, and that's this, and I really like this. The paler, oh, look at all the different colors in there. Greens and yellows and blues and purples and pinks, and there's gray over here. And of course, lots of speckling, mostly pink speckling. Very pretty. I really like that. Very pretty. So that's Kat's Riverside Studio. All right. Now, moving on. We'll soon be done here. The next one is Sweet Paprika. Don't know where it's located. And it's sweetpaprikadesigns.com. And $12. Oh, they say right at the top, they have a $12 flat rate shipping. If you spend over $100, it's $9 shipping. And if you spend over $200, it's free shipping. They have a subscription box for knitters. And I don't know what that word says. Different, I don't know. Oh, different wools. They have a subscription box that is a different wool every month, and they tell you all about the wool and information and possible patterns and so on, and you're getting a skein of the yarn, but it has to do with wools. If you're somebody that really wants to try or experience a lot of different wools, they have that. You might want to check it out. They have worsted, bulky, DK, fingering, lace, and sport. Starts at $32 a skein. So that's a pretty good rate. And their shipping is definitely good. And I've had my yarn from them for quite a while. And I have a few of them again. Oops, don't want to get mixed up with the last one. I have just two. Sweet Paprika. And I have written on here that they are in Montreal. So sometime I must have done some research and found that out. This one is 100% superwash merino. And it has 420 meters, which is 460 yards. Beautiful tonals in green. I really like it, and it's called Kelp, and it feels quite nice. 100% superwash. Nice feel. It would be nice to work with. And the other one I have is, and we're going to have to talk about this at some point, it's 100% Norboulet wool. And I don't know what Norboulet wool is, but I bought it to try it. Now, it's definitely not as soft as this one. But again, we're going to talk about the properties of this. And it has 375 meters, 410 yards, 125 grams. And it's not scratchy or anything like that. It just doesn't have the softness of the 100% merino. So that's something we're going to be talking about in the future. Now, does it have a color name? Yes, this one is called Black Cherry. Kelp and Black Cherry. They could actually go together quite nicely, but they don't feel the same, so I wouldn't put them together. Alrighty, that is something we want to talk about. And the last company that I have here is Tanis. And did I tell you sweetpaprikadesigns.com? I'm not sure if I mentioned their website. And Tanis is tanisfiberarts.com. Again, I have no idea where they are. They've been in business since 2016. They have free shipping if you spend over $250. I found shipping for one. I don't know if that's a flat rate. It's $10, so that's not bad at all. They have fingering and DK, tweed sock, sport, worsted, lace and mohair. They have linen and silk. For those of you that have wool allergies or have sensitive skin, you might want to check out. They have linen and silk, and they have mohair and silk, and they have MCS, apparently, according to what I wrote. Seemed to me they had some things on sale. So again, you might want to check them out. Now I have 2 skeins of yarn from them. The first one, I just love this color. It's called Plum. And this is 100% organic merino. 410 meters, 450 yards. Feels nice. Not quite as soft. Yeah, not quite as soft as this one. This has a thicker ply, a softer strand. Whereas this one, it looks like a tighter twist. And it's a wee bit thinner. It still feels nice though. Yeah, and the other one I have from them, what did I say this was again? 100% organic merino treated. This is 80% organic merino and 20% recycled nylon. It has 400 meters, 440 yards, and a touch bit softer, not a whole lot, but again, I like the variety of colors, and it has speckling in there. This is predominantly a dull blue and grays. With that colorful speckling. This might be nice to pair up with a nice bright color like that raspberry red. So that's from Tanis, Tanis Fiber Arts. Okay. All right. So that brings us to the end of the Quebec dyers. I've been keeping lists of dyers, Canadian dyers. I've been watching people that went to Knit City, Montreal, and I've also been watching, as she's traveling across Canada, I've been watching Knitting Natty to see where she stops, and I'm going to be doing a lot more researching of Canadian dyers over the summer, and definitely purchasing some when I see some that I really like. And the first thing I'm going to be doing is getting me some llama. I really want to see about llama. Now, there was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of shopping lately, but I have done a little bit from Expression Fiber Arts, of course. It's kind of hard. Every week she has beautiful yarn. Every time you look, she has something new, a new color. She's been coming with new bases, and I have ordered a little bit from her in the past months. Not a lot, not like usual, but I will be probably making a good purchase sometime soon, because I have a 25% coupon that I want to use. But I did want to tell you one thing. If you remember, I was going to do a couple of different shawls of theirs. I think last fall, maybe I kind of got into it, got started and got sidetracked at different places. But I did want to do this one. I'm going to put a picture of it here beside me. And it's called the Nua shawl. And I don't know if you remember, but I really liked that rainbow color that was in it. But it was part of what they called their gratitude box. So you ordered the yarn and you got this gratitude box. And I showed you the various things once a week. You opened them, and that didn't excite me too much. But my concern with the shawl was there were two main colors, and then you kept putting in the rainbow as you went. And the pattern used almost all of those two main colors. And I'm pretty sure I'm a loose crocheter, I was worried that I wouldn't have enough of the two main colors. And I did start it. Here is one of the main colors, and here is the other. So you start and you go all the way down as you circle through the rainbow. And then you go to this and you keep going, finish up the rainbow. And here's the beginning. It's basically like a moss stitch at the beginning. And I got sidetracked into something else. But my worry was that I would run out of these two before I finished all the other nice pretty colors. And I wasn't sure what would happen. And I talked about getting a silvery gray, to keep going from these two. Although it wouldn't be the right color, it would be neutral, and hopefully I could finish it. Well, I'm kind of glad that I didn't keep going at the time. And mostly that was because something else came up, something I got interested in making. And I have it all in the bag here, with the intention that I would get back to it. It was one of my whips that I carried over from last year. I don't think I even entered it in my my app where I keep what I'm working on, but I do intend to work on this. And the good news is that they brought out those two colors again. I was so excited to see that they re-dyed them. Now the dye lot may be slightly different, but I don't think it's going to be terribly noticeable because you're circulating in the rainbow colors as you go, as you saw in that picture. So now I have enough if I run short of either of those colors before they say to switch. And I was so super excited to get these. These are Luster Sport, by the way. And who knows when I'll get back. I have a bunch of whips, UFOs to me. I have a bunch of UFOs sitting in bags down there. And I've also talked to you about various other yarns that I want to work with. I showed you a pair last week, the pink and the variegated. So, and I got bags and bags over here of things I put together I want to work on. So who knows when I will get back to this. I'd like it if it could be this fall, but knowing what I have on my schedule, I have many ideas of things I want to do with you throughout the fall. So I don't know when I'll get back to it. But I was just very excited to be able to get that from EFA so that I can now eventually finish that shawl, which I really, really, really like. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I think that pretty well covers everything I have to talk about this week. I will be finishing up Canadian dyers next week with the Maritimes. I think I only have 4 shops to talk about out in the Maritimes, so that won't take the whole week, and that's the whole session podcast. So that's why I think I will bring up some of my ponchos and shawls. If you are interested in purchasing any of those, I'll talk about that next week. And then we have 1 week left in June. And if I can get my act together, I thought I would talk about variegated yarns and planned and assigned pooling. I'm hoping at the end of the month that I can do that. But it's going to take a little bit of prep time, and I need to do the garden first. But hopefully all will work out, and we'll be back to see more yarn from the east coast of Canada next week. And until then, happy hooking.